Hello and welcome back to another episode of So My Wife's a Witch.
A Bewitched Deep Dive Podcast.
How the heck are you?
All right.
Pretty meh.
Yeah, just trucking along. Just happy to be doing this with you today.
Your earrings are cute.
Thank you.
I love those.
Local Seattle artists. Gotta support. Yeah. And so is my ring, local. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. This is from an artist in Bellingham, Washington.
Oh.
Not very local, but somewhat local.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm good. I just got back from a little vacation this past weekend, so I'm getting back into the swing of things.
Yeah. Keeping your nose to the grindstone, one could say.
Shoulder to the wheel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Little callback.
Yeah, a little callback.
Nice. Well, before we get into the episode, there is some news, at least like newer to us. But when y'all see this episode, of course, it'll be old news. But we wanted to talk about some news of a reboot wrestling around for Bewitched.
Never would have thought that they're actually doing a reboot.
Yeah, like this would never happen.
Yeah.
And then cut to. So yeah, it's a little immediately disappointing to me, just because like, yeah, maybe like with Golden Girls, like people always say, oh, we would love a reboot or something, but like you would never be able to capture the same magic, right? With the people in front of the camera and the people behind the scenes, like everything turned out the way it was supposed to, right?
Exactly.
And like, I feel the same way about Bewitched as well. Like everything worked out the way it should have been, and especially in like Samantha and for Endora, right? Like the casting is just ridiculous, and the creative team, the special effects without any computer,
I was going to say
interference.
For that time,
yeah.
It was incredible, and I just can't imagine them trying to do it nowadays with CGI.
Exactly.
And
it's probably going to look so cheap. But either way, like I'm not just like here to like poo-poo on any, thing like that. Like I'm still going to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Deadline released an article kind of breaking the news about it. So they're thinking like an hour-ish episodes instead of a 20-ish minute comedy. So.
Yeah, I was reading how they've tried to do a few reboots in the past that haven't ended up coming about, but those were all the same format of 30-minute episodes. Mm-hmm. But this one, they're proposing kind of more of an hour-long situation.
Yeah.
And the producers are from Sony and Fox, and they both seem to have a pretty good history of
track record
of really good successful shows. So we'll see how it turns out. I'm not a huge fan of reboots in general. I feel like a lot of times they'll take the ideas from an original source material and create a spin-off that just has all the same characters or plot lines, just like in a blender, and pop them back out, and none of it's very original or capturing the same magic as the original. But, this was made 60 years ago. So it might be interesting to see this one remade for the modern era compared to like some other things that were just made 20 years ago or 10 years ago that they're already remaking.
That is true. Because the last time we saw this done was for the 2004 Nicole Kidman and Will Ferrell vehicle. The only thing Madison had seen, before this. And so that was great.
You abhor it. You hate it.
I hate it so much. But yeah, like you just can't, especially, no offense to Will Ferrell, but like you just can't.
Yeah, now that I know Dick York as Darrin, that was an interesting casting choice.
Yeah.
But I guess they wanted a comedic actor.
Well, were they successful in finding that?
Yeah.
Depends on your views of Will Ferrell.
That is true. Let us know in the comments if you think Will Ferrell's a funny actor or not.
Yeah.
Or who your picks would be for a Darrin of the modern era, who you would cast. Ooh, Glenn Powell.
No.
And when I said that, I was naming wrong answers only.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So I'm so Glenn Powell, obviously not a good choice.
Yeah. You might as well just put Sydney Sweeney as Samantha if you're going to do that.
Yeah, ridiculous. Saved it.
Yeah, so but it's interesting, and like I was talking to Mom about it earlier, and just how like especially in that time, like in the 60s, a lot of uncertainty and like weird things happening in the world and in our country at the time, and just how like those shows were kind of an escape from things and real world problems, and it would be nice to have that again. And but either way, like a lot of things, new material, right, is not able to become a classic show because it gets canceled so quickly. So I wish they would do something new, but if this is the way they want to go, hopefully it'll be original enough and still honor, right, this incredible show that we're covering. So
yeah, because at the end of the day, we want it to be an homage to the original.
Exactly.
Hopefully they're able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, you ready to dive into this episode?
I am so ready. Episode 5, Help, Help, Don't Save Me.
Yes, sounds like a Beatles song.
It does sound like a Beatles song. Oh my God.
Yes. So this episode premiered on October 15th, 1964, presented by Chevrolet. And it was written by Danny Arnold. Perfect.
He's written the last few episodes.
Yeah. So yeah, there's some fun things happening. So from what I see, like it's just full of like Olympic stuff. So I was like, oh, I guess there were some Olympic games going on. So yeah, the Tokyo Olympics were going on. So there was just like a lot of news about gold medals, like who won, and world records and stuff like that. So that was going on at this time. The St. Louis Cardinals beat the New York Yankees in the World Series. Cole Porter died of kidney failure at 73. Do you know who Cole Porter is?
I don't. Who's Cole Porter?
Yeah, Cole Porter was a very like prolific songwriter. Did a lot of things, musicals, different songs and stuff.
Okay.
So,
cool.
But yeah, so he passed away on this day of kidney failure at 73, and we do have a new #1 song in the country.
What is it?
Do-Wah-Diddy Diddy by Manfred Mann.
I know. Is this the one that's like, do a diddy 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 do? That one?
I believe so.
Okay. I know this one. I get so excited when I know things now.
But like even just by the title, it seems like it should have came out like 10 years earlier, right? Like something in the 50s when they were doing like nonsense words.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, but yeah, so that was the #1 song in the U.S.
Wow, I love this. As we continue to go through these, I'm getting more and more excited to hear what songs were #1 at the time. This is awesome.
Yeah, it just seems older than.
Yeah, because when were the Beach Boys popular?
Always. The Beach Boys have always been popular, Madison.
I'm so sorry. When did they come to famousness? When did
Pet Sounds come out?
Yes. Is that an album by them? Fake Beach Boys fan over here.
Wow.
Quick research. Beach Boys. The Beach Boys. Okay. 1961. Okay. So that it feels like the same era to me.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Iconic. Okay,
great. Should we dive into the actual
meat
and
meat of the episode
of the episode? Yeah, we open this episode with Samantha in the kitchen, bleary-eyed. She's got a coffee cup in hand and she's looking at the clock. And we see that it's 4. We presume 4 a.m. because she's in her night clothes and she seems tired. So we can assume that it's 4 a.m. and not 4 p.m.
Yes.
And then we hear Endora before we see her. She's cackling. She giggles and she appears. And she says, good morning to Samantha. And we find out that she's been out all night partying.
Yeah.
And she hasn't even gone to bed yet.
No.
What a glamorous life. I want a full spinoff of what Endora's life looks like as a witch.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yes.
But see, now that would be a good idea for a new TV show. If you wanted to do this, then do a prequel. Do Endora's life, as we'll find out. Like little hints. Like, she's super old. Like, you could do so much with just Endora.
Yeah, and her fabulous lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, between like the different costumes, the different people she would meet, and what she's been doing for the last 2,000 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be incredible. But she says that she hasn't gone to bed yet. She's been out partying. And then she comments on how Darrin must be out as well, and Samantha's up waiting for him.
Yes. She's like, where is he? I love it. She said, she calls Samantha a neglected housewife. And then Samantha, she's like, oh, he's not running around on me. He's just working. And then Endora says another really good, all of her lines are just in every episode are incredible. But she says, lust is lust, I suppose. Whether it's for women or money, it's all the same.
He can't do anything right. No matter, like, whatever it was that he's doing, the fact that Samantha's alone.
Yeah.
Endora's like, wrong.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He's terrible.
Typical, disappointing, foolish mortal.
I love it. So they're talking about that, and Samantha goes into what he's actually doing. He's in there working on some new ads for Caldwell Soup Company,
which we can assume is a spoof of like Campbell's soup.
Oh yeah, because he says like they were the original canned soup brand, but now it's even more important that they kind of stay relevant, right? Because there's a whole bunch of other soup brands on the market now, and so that's why this is a big deal, and it's a big deal for Old Man Caldwell, as he calls him.
Yeah, and Endora's comments on how Sam says Darrin's a very ambitious man, and Endora goes, so was Caesar. He was a very nice man. And from this we find out that Endora, because Caesar lived from 100 to 44 BC, around that time.
Oh, you got the facts.
I got the facts. I wrote it down. Which means Endora is over 2,000 years old, which begs the question, how old is Samantha?
That will be...
Is that addressed at some point? Okay.
In this season...
That's addressed.
It's a plot point.
Okay.
You might not get an answer, but it's a plot point.
I love the building of the suspense, because for me as an audience member, I'm like, I want to know more about her.
Yeah. Okay. So you'll just have to be patient.
Okay, I will. I'll try.
Yeah, so, Endora's like, okay, well, bye. I'm going back to have fun. And pops away, and Samantha pours some coffee for Darrin as well, and brings it to him. And we go into his study, or his home office, and he is all disheveled. There's big paper all around him. Like, he's clearly been working, and yeah. So, again, his hair's messed up. We love when his hair's messed up.
You love when I literally wrote down, ooh, disheveled Nathan.
Disheveled, yeah.
Sweetheart, you've been up all night. You'll get sick.
I will not get sick. I am sick.
So his hair is messed up, and they're kind of talking, and she's going through the papers, looking at what he's come up with, and she's like talking to herself, basically like, oh, that's clever, but he's like, oh, like I'm not happy with what I did. Like, it's pedestrian trash, he keeps saying, right? But she's trying to be supportive and saying how good it is. But then he's like, oh, what time is it? Like, I gotta get a shower, I gotta get ready and meet, I have a lunch date, basically. He doesn't say date, but I have lunch with Old Man Caldwell. And I still don't have anything that I like or that he's going to like. Like, I know he's going to hate all of them, right? And so he goes into the bathroom to take the quickest shower ever.
Right? Known to man, 30 seconds.
Yeah, and so you hear the water turn on, and then you just hear...
It's so funny.
While Samantha's like looking at more of the pages, and she's like, oh, I can't hear you if you're talking to me. But he just keeps on talking, as one does. and everything. I thought it was really cute. But eventually, the water stops going or whatever. But what does Samantha do while she's looking at these drawings?
She's looking at the drawings, and I want to point out, like, she compliments him a lot. She calls him the greatest advertising man in the world. Like, she's very supportive of him while he's having this rough week, up every night into the wee hours working on this clearly very stressful project.
Yeah, because we're supposed to think, like, we're supposed to know that it's been days and stuff of him doing this, right?
Yes. And which I think is such a long day, because we presume that he goes to work at like 9 a.m. and then he comes back at 5 or 6 because he catches a
train into the city.
Yeah. So he's gone working for 8 hours, like 9 hours if we add on the commute of the train, and then or 10 hours if we add the commute of the train there and back. And then he's up until 4 a.m. working. And this particular night, he pulls an all-nighter and he's sick and he has a cold. So he's been running himself ragged.
Because even when it shows Samantha waking up after, right, she brings him coffee when she meets Endora, it shows her waking up and he's still not in bed. Yeah. And then she goes to see him, right? And yeah, he's just... clearly did not get in bed at all. It's perfectly, flat and made. So he didn't sleep.
He didn't sleep at all. And yeah, she's being very supportive. And while he's in the shower, she's looking at his sketches, and she is, she's like, well, that's very clever. And she's reading all of them, and we get to see like what he's come up with.
Yes.
Which are pretty good. But he comes out of the shower looking like a little moistened. Yeah,
they just like
sprayed some water on him.
Mess his hair up even more.
And then she goes on to say, well, Darrin, what if you use familiar expressions with double meanings? Which I wrote down as hilarious, because isn't that all advertising is anyway? Like, that's not new to him. That's not some incredibly... new idea.
She's a trailblazer.
Truly, in the advertising industry.
Yeah.
And we get to see some of Elizabeth Montgomery's drawing skills.
Yes. So she just starts marking up all of his drawings, just takes the pen and just goes crazy.
Which I thought was maybe the biggest argument that she is using magic in this moment, because Darrin doesn't have anything to say about that. He's not upset that all of his work that he's worked on for days at a time, he's not upset that she's marking it all up, which I thought is the bigger miracle in all of this, because as like you would think someone who has put so much hours into this would be a little upset at that, but no, he thinks it's amazing.
Yeah, so she's coming up with really cute things, like just changing things a little bit, right? So like changing the kids playing baseball to wearing helmets and carrying spaceships and stuff, and just doing little things like that and connecting it to the space race that was going on at the time, and just things like that. And but yeah, so Elizabeth Montgomery is able to showcase her little doodling, because she really loved to draw. And according to David, she did want to be like an illustrator for Disney at one point. And but yeah, it's cute to see that. But yeah, so he really loves her ideas, and he's like, oh my, like, Samantha, you're a genius, like these are incredible. Old man Caldwell is gonna love this, like I gotta get to the office, right? And he like kisses her, and he's heading out the door, and he stops in the door frame and gets struck by a thought. And what is that thought, Madison?
The thought is that she must have been using magic in that moment, because he, was complaining about, or like expressing how difficult the situation is and how hopeless it is. And she provided little miracles with these drawings and complete solutions to all of his problems.
Of course. Why didn't I see it before? It was you. You did it.
Did what?
Lay out a perfect solution to the whole campaign and hand it to me on a silver platter.
I was only trying to help.
Sam, I don't want that kind of help. I told you magic was out.
But there was no magic in what I did.
Well, what would you call it?
I'd call it imagination. I do have some,
How easy it was for her to do this. He's been toiling away, and he didn't think about it, and she did. And so it hits him that she must have been using magic to create these things, right?
Right? It couldn't be possible that he really was just,
Yeah.
too close or in the trees, as Mr. Caldwell says, and she
Too
provided
close to the
fresh-
woods, you can't see the trees.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it couldn't be possible that that's actually the case, and she's just providing a fresh perspective with
So
her
he
imagination.
immediately accuses her of using witchcraft, which of course offends her, as it should. And he doesn't believe her, and he's like, well, like, these are great ideas, but like, forget it. Like, I'm not going to use them. Like, by the time I get to this lunch, I will hopefully have thought of something that's going to impress him.
Yeah.
And he leaves.
Yes. And there's the first moment where I feel like I've seen true like sadness or hurt on Sam's face in the scene.
Disappointment. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause he's like, I'm like, what do you call that? And she goes, call it imagination. I do have some, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And her face is so hurt. She's like, you really don't have any faith in me as a person. You think I just use magic for everything. And I thought that was an interesting bit of tonal change that then we've seen up to this point.
Yeah. We cut to lunch with Mr. Caldwell. And basically he's in the middle of showing him his initial designs before she marked them up and everything. I guess he had copies. Mr. Caldwell hates everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he says that he's looking for old school romanticism with the advertisements.
Yeah.
And he even goes on to say, what was good enough for Dad is good enough for me. And Darrin thinks, oh, well, good. I'm glad he said that because I actually used that in one of the sketches.
Yes, I wrote that down too. Mm-hmm. Like, he literally says the thing to him, and then Darren's like, oh my God, that's incredible, and pulls it out, shows him, and then he's like, oh yes, what's good enough for Dad's good enough for me. I don't like it.
Yeah. And we get the sense that, like, no matter what Darrin shows him, this he's not going to be satisfied with.
Yeah. And I love this actor as well. Like, he seems so much fun. Like, kind of like walking that line, right, of, like, he's not an asshole like Mr. Barker, right? Mm-hmm. And it's almost like he's really out of touch, but he still knows what he wants. Mm-hmm. Kind of kooky. Like, he does such a good job of portraying this character, you know, that we only see for a little bit.
Yeah, he seems like he feels really misunderstood in the world. And he's from an older generation, and he's looking for that same magic.
Yeah.
Would you like to learn a little bit more about that actor?
Of course I would.
Oh my goodness. Well, jump in for a little mitty ditty.
Okay.
Buckle up. This is a short and sweet one. Mr. Caldwell, aka Charles Ruggles.
Cute.
He was born February 8th, 1886.
Wow.
In Los Angeles. And I have put in one trivia question in this little mini deep dive.
The trivia is bleeding into the minis.
It is. It's just so fun to make you guess things.
Oh,
and
okay.
also make all of our listeners guess things. So Ruggles began performing in theatrical productions at age 19, despite training for what occupation?
Ooh.
Was it A, a pilot, B, a doctor, or C, a plumber?
I'm going to vote plumber.
It was a doctor.
Oh, okay.
He went to school to become a doctor.
I think plumber would be more fun.
I know. I actually, when I was coming up with alternate answers for this, I was reminded of how Harrison Ford used to be like a handyman, and that's how he was discovered before becoming an actor. And so I was like, I wonder if I can get Nathan with this one.
No comment.
Yes, Ruggles acted on stages in San Francisco and Los Angeles before moving to Broadway in 1914. Mm-hmm. The following year, he appeared in his first silent film and continued to do so through the 1920s. He was primarily a comedic actor. While he premiered in nearly 100 feature films in his career, his ultimate passion was the stage. And in 1944, he had a summer radio series called The Charlie Ruggles Show on CBS. Come 1914, he was ready to move into television, appearing most notably as the headline character in The Ruggles and The World of Mr. Sweeney. Oh. Mm-hmm. In 1959, he won a Tony Award for the pleasure of his company, a role he would later reprise in the film adaptation. We know that doesn't happen too often.
No, it does not.
Right? So that just goes to show what an incredible actor he was. And he not only plays Mr. Caldwell in this episode, but also reappears later in the series as Aunt Clara's old flame, Headley Partridge, in season 2.
Little spoiler there.
Spoiler! We're gonna
I'm
see him
excited
again.
to see him again.
Yes.
And I
So,
love Aunt Clara as well.
Yes, I am excited to meet her. But yeah, that's my little deep
Beautiful.
dive.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're so very welcome.
Yeah, and so in the middle of this, which is a first for this show as well, we hear a little voiceover. Darrin's thoughts. We hear his inner thoughts, and he's like, just, basically talking out his disappointment of how this is going, how Mr. Caldwell hates everything, and then one little idea of, I could have him eating out of my hand in 2 seconds if I just show him Samantha's ideas, and then it goes into, I won't do it. If I do it once, I'll do it again and again, right?
Yes. And it's interesting to hear this inner conflict he has between wanting it to go well and wanting to accomplish it on his own. But I really appreciated that for the first time, we're getting a rather insightful look at how self-aware he is. He's very aware of how if he relies on Samantha and relies on magic, he's worried that he'll lose his independence, his competence, his ability to be self-sufficient. And it's nice to see this vulnerable side of him.
Yeah, it really is. It's definitely different from what we've seen in previous episodes. But I love too that every time he goes into this little trance, basically, That's So Raven, he's like, looks off into the distance, and Mr. Caldwell has to be like, hey, you with me, son? You're with, I say, you with me? And bring him back to reality, and snap him out of it and everything. One of my favorite lines in this too, because he shows him one, every time he comes out of his little
reverie.
He pulls out a new design and to be like, oh, well, what about this one? But he can tell he's losing him, and the one with the kids, he's like, Mr. Caldwell's like, kids don't eat soup, and Darrin's like, we need to make them soup conscious.
I thought that was so funny.
So funny. But then I thought too, watching this episode for the first time, right? Speaking of Campbell's, right? All of the kids, the catering to kids from them. So all of the movie, TV show tie-ins that Campbell's does, the special shaped noodles. So I immediately thought about that, and I'm like, well, you could have jumped on the train early, right? To make the kids soup conscious. Darrin was right.
He was right. Yeah, and Mr. Caldwell, he's like, we want to go in a different direction. It seems like he already wants a different, fresh set of eyes on this campaign.
Yeah, Mr. Caldwell is trying to break up with Darrin.
Yes, he's trying to break up with Darrin. Darrin's trying to get him to stay, and every time Darrin goes into this trance-like state, we hear the fade off of Mr. Caldwell explaining why he's leaving.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
What he's looking for. So he finally, he gets up to leave, right? And he's like, oh, one more thing. And he's like, what is it? Whatever. And so he finally, we think he's going to bring up Sam's designs, and he doesn't. He's like, oh, never mind. And he's like, oh, well, you'll get the bill, won't you, Stevens?
Yes. Yeah, that's the moment where he goes and says, if I do it once, I'll never be able to take care of myself again or whatever. And he's like, that's an interesting conundrum, but I don't know what it has to do with soup.
He's like, whatever works for you.
Well, let me be the judge of that. What were you going to say? If I do it once, I'll do it again. And before you know, I won't be able to do anything for myself. Well, that's an interesting philosophy. But I don't see how it applies to soup. You take care of the check, will you?
So cute. But yeah, so then we cut back to the home, and Samantha's just vacuuming. She's doing her housework. She has her hair up. And then all of a sudden, I forgot to look up what it's called, but the little things they used to put around horses or whatever.
I was trying to find it because it's not a saddle.
No.
But it's definitely some sort of work horse equipment, and we can assume it's something that is used to attach
It
like
goes-
a carriage to it.
It goes. I think it does go around their neck.
Okay.
Like on their chest. But it pops in on Samantha, and she's like, so we know Endora did it. And then all of a sudden, Endora is perched on the railing of the stairs, like she loves to do so much. Is saying like, well, if you're gonna work like a horse, you might as well look like one too.
Good morning, darling. What's this supposed to mean?
Well, you enjoy working like a horse. I thought you might enjoy looking like one.
Oh, very funny.
She's so sassy.
I love it.
I love her. Yes. We'll insert a clip here of the equipment. If you know what this equipment is called, please pop a comment so we can also learn something new.
I did grow up on a farm, but we did not have those things.
Okay. Yeah, Endora is kind of saying, I told you so. Like, I told you wouldn't be any help to him. And Samantha says, he did just fine before I came along. And Endora says, and he'll do just fine after you too.
Yeah.
And Samantha bristles at this, and she says, I liked this monologue, actually. She says, well, no, actually, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to clean the whole house. I'm going to make dinner by hand. I'm going to take a nice long bath, put on the sexiest dress I own, and convince my husband that he was right and I was wrong.
Yeah. And I'm going to mind my own business. I didn't like it because, again, why is she blaming herself all of a sudden?
Yes, I don't like that. Okay, yes. I like that she's very confident in her marriage, despite her mother's continual lack of faith in it, and lack of support. I like that she's still staying confident and sticking to her guns, but I don't like the last bit where she's like, he was right and I was wrong.
Yeah.
And a lack of like curiosity, or the intent should be like, this is a problem we're facing together. And I'm a witch. I'm going to continue to have these moments where you're going to wonder if I'm using magic, and you need to trust me.
Exactly. Like, I think we've already talked about this in previous episodes. Like, if I say I didn't do something, you need to believe me.
Yes.
And that's what she needs to be pissed off about. And all of a sudden, randomly, she's like, oh, it was my fault. So yeah, I don't like that. And so Endora finally pops off, and Sam keeps vacuuming. But yeah, so then we cut to Samantha all in her sexiest dress, as she says. It's fine.
It's not as sexy as like the dinner dress, I feel
Elizabeth
like.
Montgomery could look great in anything, but still, it's just very kind of plain and safe, right?
It doesn't really fit her shape as like show off her figure as much as, as some other gowns she's worn. Yes, accentuate her curves.
Yeah, so she's like making him a drink or whatever, and then she hears him come in, and she goes to him and everything, and
yeah, so he comes home, and he says how he didn't show the sketches, and she says, well, I thought maybe in an emergency you might, and he says like, no, I didn't, and I, even despite your meddling. And she goes, well, what does that mean? And he thinks that while he was at this lunch, she was there, creating this conflict in his mind about telling Mr. Caldwell about it.
Exactly.
When we know, in fact, that was his own inner conflict that he was struggling with. But he seems to have this misconception that she's meddling into the account with magic.
Influence, right?
Right. Her influence.
He said, I could feel you in that restaurant.
Yes. And she swears she was at home, evidenced by all the hard work she put in, and he still doesn't believe her.
Well, because then he's like, oh, I know you can twitch and you can do whatever to clean up this house and everything. Again, being really accusatory and really shitty. And he's just saying how he had so many opportunities to show Mr. Caldwell her designs, but he bit his tongue, and he sticks his tongue out and he shows her, right? And I was just like, he has the widest tongue I have ever seen.
That's interesting, Nathan. I didn't even think about his tongue, but that makes sense that you would take note of it.
Wow. Okay. You didn't think how big it was? It was kind of weird. Okay. Like once he stuck it out, I was like, put that back in.
We'll insert a clip and then everyone can.
Put that tongue back in your mouth. That makes me uncomfortable. Dick York has a giant tongue written in my notes. And he's being very childish with this, sticking his tongue out at her, and he still doesn't believe anything she's saying, and she's like, "Are you calling me a liar?" Yep.
And he goes, "If the shoe fits."
Yep, I got that written down as well. And I said, now she is pissed.
Yes,
finally.
the last straw.
Yeah. And so she marches upstairs, as she should, and she shuts the bedroom door, and he runs up there and he says, "Samantha, you unlock this door." And she's it's not locked. But as soon as he goes into the bedroom, she's nowhere to be found. So she is invisible, and all we see, shout out to the special effects people again, is so good. Everything floating around. We see the suitcase come out and the drawers open and clothes flying everywhere. She is slowly packing her bags, her toiletries.
It looks so cool.
It looks so good. And of course, he's standing there in the middle of it, and everything.
Watching it all happen, watching her picture disappear off the dresser.
Yes.
And he's freaking out, and he's like, "No, don't do anything you'll regret."
Yes.
And there's this hilarious moment when the cases pass on either side of Darrin. Like, he goes to stand in her way to keep her from leaving, even though he can't see her, but he can see where the suitcases are.
Yeah.
And they just pass around him. And he has this moment where he's like, "Ooh. She wouldn't, she wouldn't walk through me invisibly," and it's hilarious.
And they go out the bedroom door, down the stairs, and this is when we see the first instance, or maybe the second instance of the very flimsy rail at the top of the stairs, where he because Dick, he's very rough with it, right? But he coming around the stairs trying to chase after the suitcases floating down the stairs, he grabs it, right?
Yeah. And the suitcases themselves, it looks like in this scene where they're coming down the stairs, it looks almost stop motion with the way it
the
moves.
frame rate's a little different when they're going down the stairs.
Yes.
But they look fine in the bedroom.
They look fine even in this moment, but it reminded me of this trend, this wicked trend, when people would take a broomstick or something from their own house and they would film themselves going to the Wicked premiere with the broomstick under them, but they would jump in succession all the way to the front door.
Yes.
And then they would clip it together so it looks like they're flying.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what the suitcase moment reminded me of. I'll put a back-to-back in the episode, so go to YouTube to watch what I'm talking about if you have no idea.
Yes. So the door opens by itself, the suitcases go out, and the door slams in his face. And he opens it trying to see her, and yelling after her, which is weird because who's always looking out across the street? And we get no Gladys in this episode, which makes me so sad. But she would definitely see this. And then as soon as he goes back in the house, she pops back in front, in the front yard. And then there is Endora saying, I could say I told you so. And Samantha's like, please don't. And because she's just very upset. And Sam's like, he lied to me. And she's like, I know, I was watching.
Yeah, she's like, he called me a liar.
Oh,
and,
sorry.
No, you're great. He called me a liar. And she's like, yeah, I know, I heard the whole thing. And I'm like, where is the privacy?
I know.
Yeah, she had no idea that Darrin was up all night working on this account thing. So we know she doesn't watch all of the time, but I think she knew trouble was brewing.
I feel like she knows when her daughter's upset.
And she must have been listening. Oh,
Yeah.
That's cute. They have a witchy sense of each other's emotions.
Has to.
I love that.
Yeah.
That
So
makes
when
sense.
she knows when to sweep in and be a mother. Yeah.
And Samantha and Endora's like, well, just hold on to me and we'll go far, far away. And Samantha switches into her witch's costume.
Yeah, it's one of the first times we see her, because we know Endora's always in this beautiful flowing gowns, right? And so this is one of the first times we see Samantha's
billowing in the night air mystically.
And so, but it's so cute. They do this freeze frame, right, where they fade away, but Endora grabs onto Samantha. But it's such a cool little picture of them.
Yes, and their hands are up
very
very
fierce.
theatrically, yes, as they whisk away into who knows where they're going.
Yeah.
And she threatens, and before they go, Endora threatens to turn Darrin into a toad, and Sam stops her. And Endora's like, maybe you're right. Why make it easy for him? And I was thinking exactly, kind of like with Rex Barker, where we made that easy for him and that he didn't have to remember anything that happened.
Yeah, so then after that, we cut to McMahon and Tate. We're in Darrin's office, and his hair's messed up again, and he has scruff, and he's just out of it. Like, he's clearly upset. And who walks in but Larry Tate, the second time we see Larry Tate. And he's like, oh, how'd it go yesterday at the lunch with Mr. Caldwell? Like, did you get him? And then he's like, whoa, you look like crap.
Yeah, his like shirt's all wrinkled, his tie is loose, his face is unshaved.
You know what it reminded me of?
What?
Because I'm an old person. But a lot of people love Tom and Jerry. So I love Tom and Jerry, but it reminds me of the episode of Tom and Jerry where it's the really dark one where they both lose their girlfriends and they're waiting on the train to hit them.
I'm going to pretend that I've seen Tom and Jerry.
Wow. But like where they like drew the little like scruff on them because they're like upset and like stuff. That's what it reminded me of because he's like got his hands, you know, like
they're
that.
Down bad.
Yeah. It's so cute. But yeah, so he's like, what's wrong? And there's a fun, anytime when Larry's here, right, there's always like fun wordplay. Mm-hmm. They really like to give him wordplay. But yeah, saying that like Darrin's like, none of this matters anymore. Like I lost our biggest account and my wife in the same day, basically. And he's like, what do you mean? Like, what's going on? And I just love the little exchange of words. So.
Yeah, Larry keeps like saying things like, you know, and we'll get him back. And Darrin's like, I would love to. I miss her already. And then Larry's like, I mean, Mr. Caldwell. And he keeps switching like who he's talking about. So that's a very fun comedic point in the scene.
Yeah, it happens to us all. And Darrin's like, what, lose a big account? And he's like, no, lose your wife.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yes, I love it. So yeah, and so then Darrin, because he like doesn't care anymore, right? He's finally like, oh, I could have had it wrapped up so quickly
if I wanted to.
Yeah, and Larry's like, well, what is it? Like there's still time. Like figure it out.
I could lock up Caldwell in 2 minutes if I wanted to.
If you wanted to, don't you want the sun to rise tomorrow morning? Don't you want to live to a ripe old age? Don't you want me to live till tomorrow? Don't you want the most important person in the whole world to come back to you?
Of course I wanted to come back.
I mean Caldwell.
And so Larry finally sees Samantha's little, you know, drawings or edits, and he's like, oh my gosh, Darrin, these are incredible. Mm-hmm. Of course, he doesn't tell him that Samantha did them because I would never give a wife credit for doing my job. I'm the man. I'm supposed to do the job, right? And he's just saying how incredible it is, and he takes credit. And he's okay, well, I'm going to call Caldwell. You get cleaned up, like, everything's going to be fine. Yeah. And so then we cut to the conference room and Caldwell's there and Larry's giving his big presentation. And then the drawings have also been redone to be official, right? So her edits, but officially done, not crossed out anymore. And Darrin is cleaned up, but he still looks depressed and sad.
He looks quite guilty.
Yeah, and guilty and everything. And then all this buildup, right? And then Mr. Caldwell says, no, I don't like him. Mm-hmm. So even after all that, he hates them.
Yeah, he calls them gimmicky, and he says that they're missing warmth, love, and sex.
Yes, he says, soup has sex appeal. Some of those still in the soup game don't remember it, but I do. Goes into this little thing. It's so funny.
How sexy do you think soup is? Oh, what is the sexiest soup? I'll go first. I think French onion soup is pretty sexy. It's got like the melty, like slutty little Gruyere cheese on top of the bread, and it's like it's nice and like hot and delicious and flavorful, and it's French. French, like France is sexy. Anything French is sexy inherently.
I don't know. I would probably say chicken tortilla.
Oh.
Because you can add a little crunch, right, with some tortilla chips. Yeah. There's a little bit of spice. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's got anything and everything you'd want.
Great flavor, nice texture. Ooh.
I love a potato soup, though.
I know, right?
I love a potato soup.
What's the least sexy soup? Clam chowder.
Yeah. Some type of chili.
Yeah.
Just beans. The things that make you fart.
Oh, yes. That's very accurate. Anything with beans in it is not going to be a sexy soup.
Yeah. So, of course, as soon as Mr. Caldwell's like, no, I hate him, he gets done with his sex appeal monologue. Darrin he's exuberant.
Mm-hmm.
He lights up immediately, is back to normal. He's like, what did you just say? And they're both baffled. Like, why are you excited that I don't like the campaign, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Larry, of course, is appalled. And so he's like, you just made me the happiest man in the world. He's like, I'm taking the rest of the day off, Larry. Like, thank you so much, Mr. Caldwell. So he's clearly rushing home to apologize to Samantha.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
And he does. He gets home. He calls out to her to the empty house.
Yeah.
He apologizes. He says he was wrong, tells her he loves her and he misses her and he's thought about her all day.
Yeah, I said this is probably his best apology yet.
I know.
Where he actually says he was being stupid
Yes.
and he was wrong.
He says the words, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually she pops in the frame behind him and says hello, and they
He
embrace.
goes, where were you? And she goes, not far. Which I thought was the most disappointing response she could have possibly said, because I want to know exactly where she was and what she was doing with Endora.
It's easy in the writer's room. Like, where were they? It doesn't matter.
That she was nearby.
She was nearby.
Because she knew that he would eventually
See the
realize
light.
the error of his ways. Yes.
Exactly. So yeah, he tells her everything, and that Caldwell didn't like it, and that's how he knew that she didn't use magic and all
And
that.
he even
fun stuff.
says, I should have known you were telling the truth. And that's the kind of apology I would have liked in episode 3.
Yeah.
After everything comes out with Rex Barker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was literally attacked.
Yes, after she was assaulted. And I wish he would have been like, I should have known you were telling the truth. Anyway, and she goes on, well, how did you know? How did you know that I was telling the truth? And he goes on to say that he didn't like the sketches, so it was your imagination, and your ideas are no good. Yeesh.
Yeah. He's like, oh, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
Tries to dig himself out, and she stops him, and she goes, I know what you mean. It doesn't matter, though. The point is that I love you.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the sweet moment where they kiss, and she says,
Yes.
She says,
It's silly that something it's so silly that a can of soup could come between us.
yes, it seems ridiculous that a can of soup could come between us.
Yeah.
And they say, I love you again. And he's like, what did you say?
He's like, hold up.
And she's like, I just said I loved you. And he's like, no. After that. And she's like, what do you mean? And he's like, you really don't remember what you said? And she goes, no, I don't remember at all. And he says, that's it. I finally cracked it. I found it and you inspired it. And that's the way it should be.
That's the way it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so he runs out, with his idea, and then shuts the door. Endora pops back in as soon as he shuts the door, kind of a little too early.
Right?
With
It was
the effects.
very quick.
And then she's, oh, Samantha. Yeah, like you're giving him hints, like you were grasping what.
She says you're splitting hairs.
You're splitting hairs. Thank you. Yeah, like you're splitting hairs at this point. She's like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
He came up with it, and that's the way it should be. You heard him.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Endora's very knowingly like, you pulled the wool over his eyes. You're giving him a hint. And I like it. As an audience member, I like that Sam is continuing to support him and help him through things, but still, I guess, allowing him his ego and ownership over his own ideas that he takes a lot of pride in.
But like that's kind of a trope as well, right? Where especially around these times, or like a traditional marriage, right, where the husband does whatever and she's a housewife, where it's like, okay, I'll let him believe he's the smart one and I'm just influencing things behind the scenes, right? Even though she's a smart one. So I just thought about it now, like that's definitely like a trope, right?
Yes.
For some sitcoms and everything.
Yes, that is definitely a trope of like, behind every great man is an even greater woman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, and then cut to them in the car, you know,
On the
he's
beach.
holding her kind of like we saw in the first episode. And he's like, "Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? Breathtaking." And they're just looking at something, right? And then we finally cut to what they're looking at, and it's a billboard, a picture of a man and a woman at a dining table with a thing of soup in between them. And it says, "The only thing that will ever come between us." And then, of course, they kiss, and then that's the end of the episode.
It's perfect because it has that romanticism that Mr. Caldwell was looking for.
Sex appeal. Because they're looking at each other. They're not looking at the soup. They're looking at each other. They said, "We're going to eat this," and then we're...
And even the soup looks sexy.
Yeah.
Isn't this like gilded
Silver,
metal? Silver container all laid out and done up. Like, this is a nice dinner.
Yeah.
They're wearing nice clothes. It's very sexy.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the end. So, what'd you think?
It. I thought it's hard seeing mom and dad fighting so much over the same issue again and again. Trust. Yes. And I think it makes a lot of sense considering their quick engagement and the fact that he didn't know that she was a witch until after they were married. So this is probably something they would have like discussed and worked on and worked through during that dating phase while they're getting to know each other. But they never had that opportunity. So now as a married couple, like there's nowhere for either of them to go. Like they're in this together. They have to work it out. They have to trust each other and make these strides as husband and wife. Yeah. So it makes a lot of sense in the context of the show.
Moral of the story, #believe women.
Yes. Believe women. When they tell you that their ideas are their own.
Exactly. And I did not use my magical powers.
Yes.
So, 'tis my turn for the deep dive.
So exciting.
And today I decided to do it on David White, who plays Larry Tate.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, I love him. Larry is one of my favorite characters. Like he's aloof, right? And an interesting boss, and we'll see because he's there until the end of the show, thankfully. But he's definitely the person that's like, okay, like that's great. He definitely cares about his work more than anything, but also the person that's like, I'll tell you what to do. You go and do it.
He's a boss.
Yeah. His name was David White, not to be confused with David A.R. White, who is the super conservative actor. He was in like God's Not Dead and like all those movies. But he's like a big thing. I can't remember what it's called, but like that Christian streaming service.
Fox News.
No. Anyway, it's not important. Pureflix. Not to shout them out. So he's like all into that. So not to be confused with that individual. Our David White was born on April 4th, 1916 in Denver, Colorado. He showed an interest in acting at a young age, and his family moved to Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, eventually from Denver, when he was younger, and he decided to go to college at Los Angeles City College, and that's still there today. And he graduated, and he immediately started acting at the Pasadena and Cleveland playhouses. Oh, wow. And he was one of many, like a lot of people, that felt the need to join the military during World War II. And so he enlisted in the Marines. So we thank him for his service.
Okay, Marine.
And then after that, after he was discharged, he made his Broadway debut in 1949 in Leaf and Bough. And then he found his way to television, like they all do, in the 50s, and guest starred on so many shows. Like it's so many, like I would have been there forever writing out how many things he's guest starred in, right? Which we see, especially a working actor. You work wherever you can, right? Yeah. That brings me to my first trivia question.
Okay, I'm excited.
And this is different now, okay? Because this is a true or false. I don't believe we've had a true or false yet.
Okay, it's a 50-50 then.
Okay.
Okay.
So, true or false? David White appeared in 2 episodes of The Twilight Zone.
Okay, it's a numbers game at this point because it's like, oh, was it 2? Or was it 1? Was it 4?
Was it 15?
Oh my God, that would be so many. I mean, you would think, okay, I'm going to logic it out a little bit if I may. You would think that if he has been in guest starring in so many different shows, he must be like a favorite if he keeps getting that gig again and again and again. That
I didn't say that he guest starred on
the
same show over and over again.
Right. I mean, presumably they're owned by the same, like a couple different like networks. But if he's getting asked if he's like getting that work again, or if he's getting that work regularly, then it would make sense if he's on the same show a couple times.
Okay.
I'm going to say false. I think he guest starred on there maybe more times than 2.
More than 2? Okay. That's a good guess. You're wrong. The answer is true.
Oh, what?
Yes. So he was in 2 episodes of The Twilight Zone. He was in I Sing the Body Electric, Lana Del Rey lyric, and A World of Difference, which is interesting because I believe both Elizabeth Montgomery and Dick York were also in 2 episodes of The Twilight Zone as well.
Oh, a little
I
tradition.
think Agnes was just in 1.
Oh, okay.
Might have been more. Yeah. So, he appeared on everything from Perry Mason, Bonanza, The Virginian, which Bonanza and The Virginian, I would definitely have seen him in because, like I said, my father loves Westerns. Mission Impossible, The $6 Million Man, and Alfred Hitchcock Presents, just to name a few. And of course, he was cast as Larry Tate on Bewitched in 1964. And he was there until the show ended in 1972. And this is his best known role, and he even went on to direct an episode of the show in season 6.
Oh, that's exciting. I can't wait to see the one that he directs.
Yes. Because, usually William Asher directs a lot and everything. So, after the show, he continued on to even more guest spots like he did before Bewitched. So, The Love Boat, Columbo, What's Happening, Rhoda, The Odd Couple, Cagney and Lacey, Wonder Woman, Dallas, and Dynasty.
Wow, so many.
Yeah, and those are like the big ones. Like I left the ones off that I didn't know. And that leads me to my second trivia question. Who did David play in the 1977 pilot For the Amazing Spider-Man?
Oh, okay.
Was it A, J. Jonah
Jameson?
Was it A, J. Jonah Jameson, B, Uncle Ben, C, the Green Goblin, or D, Doc Ock?
Okay, I think it's either A or B.
What is your heart telling you?
My heart is telling me that if he was typecast in a boss type role, it would make sense if it was... What's the full Jane? What is it?
J. Jonah
Jameson. It makes sense that he would be Peter Parker's boss.
Okay. But what if he wanted to get outside of that role?
Yeah, by this point, a few years after Bewitched has ended, would he play Uncle Ben?
Well, because they apparently asked him to reprise his role as Larry Tate in the short-lived Tabitha spinoff, and he refused. He's like, I don't care to revisit Larry.
Okay, so he was looking to go into different roles. Okay, you're giving me hints here. I appreciate this. I'm going to say that he was Uncle Ben.
Was it a hint or was it sabotage?
You are evil. I'm not sabotaging you in any of the trivia.
But it was true.
Okay. Fine.
But yes, he did play J. Jonah Jameson.
This is ridiculous. Let this be known. This is sabotage.
That was good. That was good.
Me thinking it through, or you sabotaging me?
Well, I guess it was sabotage, but it was still a fact that he...
Self-titled sabotage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Consider me miffed.
It's my favorite one so far. But yeah, he was married twice. His first wife's name was Mary Welch, and she was a very prominent stage actress, and then moved on to kind of film as well. And she even had her own acting studio. Unfortunately, in 1958, she did pass away during her second pregnancy, and I guess it sounds like the baby also passed away as well. She hemorrhaged or something. So, but yeah, he lost both of them, I assume, in 1958.
That's so sad.
Yes. But yeah, so speaking of children, they did have a son together. His name was Jonathan. And this is rough because he was involved in the Flight 103 Pan Am terrorist attack. So yeah, on December 21st, Elizabeth's birthday, shout out, 1988, at 33 years old, he was on the Pan Am Flight 103, going from Heathrow to New York. Yeah, and it went down over the Scottish town of Lockerbie, and this was a result of a terrorist attack, which is still the deadliest in UK history. It killed all 270 people on board, and then the crash, when it landed in Lockerbie, it killed 11 people on the ground.
Oh my God.
Because that's just like right in town, just boom, right? Because and I'll link it in the notes, but I watched a really good documentary on YouTube about this as well, because I kind of went down a rabbit hole and wanted to learn more, because I knew there were different things, and especially if you're interested in airplanes and air travel anyway, like these things kind of pop up as like infamous things that have happened, right? So yeah, and the Pan Am 103 was the second Boeing 747 to be destroyed by a bomb after Air India 182 in 1985. Yeah, and the thought was that, like, it's concluded now, because of what happened, that when the bomb went off, when they were, in air, that it was so quick and so intense that it was just really quick for everyone, like nobody suffered or anything, but it's still very disturbing.
Yes.
There were the majority of people on the flight, including Jonathan, were American. But yeah, so yeah, if y'all want to learn more about that tragedy, definitely like I said, I'll put it in the notes and everything in the description. But definitely watch that. It was really interesting, and things that I didn't know about. So yeah, it goes into the reconstruction process, like right, going through the debris, trying to figure out what happened, and how the Air India flight went down off the coast of Ireland, so they didn't have anything to like research, right, and try to figure out what happened. But this went down over land, so they were able to collect and like piece together like the plane. And so it's still there, supposedly, somewhere in England, where you can visit this reconstructed
In Scotland.
Plane.
Whoa.
No,
like
actually,
in a museum.
it was moved to somewhere
okay.
in England. But yeah, it really sucks. And of course, this happened before David passed away, so he had to live through this.
The loss of his wife and unborn child and his son.
I can't even imagine. To know that your child or anybody you love, or even these people, like we don't even know them, but like for people to have to pass away like that is awful. But I mean, I guess if anything, like again, like it was quick. But yeah, it's really gross.
Tragic.
But yeah, so David did have a second child with his second wife, and her name was Lisa Gorsuch, and she was also an actress, and they were married in 1959, and they had their second child, his second child, Alexandra, and she was born in the same year, and she's still with us today. And David's last on-screen role was a guest spot on Dynasty, and he passed away on November 27th, 1990, of a heart attack.
Oh my gosh.
And that is that on David. So
Wow. For someone with such an incredible, successful acting career, and he also suffered so much tragedy in his personal life. That's so sad.
Yeah. And it seemed like everybody on our cast, like he was an incredible person. And yeah, so.
Wow. Well, thank you for doing that deep dive.
Of course.
Yeah.
My privilege.
Is this, not to be morbid, we can cut this out if you think it's that morbid, but not to be morbid, but is this the first of our deep dives that has passed away from a heart attack and not some form of cancer?
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because I know Mr. Ruggles,
yeah.
he passed away from cancer as well.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because like with Agnes too, right? Like it was really tragic how she and all of her cast members got that cancer and everything. And then, and Alice Pierce from last episode. So yeah, very sad circumstances with our core people.
Oh, I guess Dick York, it was complications of emphysema.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
but also still terrible,
yes.
Lung
disease.
Terrible quality of life at the end. But yeah.
Yeah. Sad. We always end these on such sad notes. People dying.
Either way, we can see, and look at this and like be grateful for the incredible things that they came together to create.
Yeah.
And just enjoy them and the work that they left us and the legacy.
Yeah, I really feel like these deep dives give me a deeper appreciation for the actors themselves, especially as we continue to watch the show, and it's a time capsule of them and their lives, and at a certain place and time. So
for sure,
it's wonderful. I'm really glad I'm getting to watch this and go back through history.
I'm having a blast. I'm having a blast doing this with you, and it just makes me. The one thing we definitely have to do is cover some Twilight Zone episodes, because now we have quite a lot to go over.
Yes.
From all of our cast members being in these Twilight Zone episodes.
And the Twilight Zone episodes are so fun to watch because they're so
good,
crazy and imaginative and fun.
I love them.
That sounds great.
But yeah, you wanna do episode 6 next time?
I would love to do episode 6 next time, and you best believe there's gonna be some sabotage for you and those trivia questions, Nathan.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You started something you don't want to finish.
If it was sabotage, it was out of love.
I'll choose to see it that way for now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let us know in the comments if you think the sabotage was out of love or not. I just want to say really quickly, happy holidays, everybody.
Yes.
I hope you are taking the time for yourself and your loved ones and enjoying this time of year. And we'll see you in the new year.
Yes. Stay safe. Stay witchy.
Stay sexy.
Keep that sex appeal up. Every time you look at a can of soup, you better think sex. But don't do anything to that can of soup.
No, that's not weird. We do not support any sort of sexual attraction to soup.
But hey, you do you.
Yeah, actually, no kink shaming here. All right. Bye for now.
Bye.
So my wife's a witch. Every married man has to make some adjustment.